and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, please sign in.
Five members present.
Okay, Ryan, have there been any changes to the agenda?
No changes, Your Honor.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as distributed?
So move.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 2, Citizens Forum. This is the time for anybody that would like to address the council on any item that is not either part of public hearings or new business. So if you don't have an item under item 6 or 7 on the agenda, this is the time for you to address the council. We'd ask that you please come to the podium here, give us your name and address for the record, that you keep it civil and respectful in 5 minutes or under. Come on up. I will go online after we take everybody in the council chambers. All right, please give us your name and address to the record, and you've got 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. My name is Brandon Bolton. Address is 915 84th Street. Thank you, first of all, for the time. I should just need a couple minutes, but I did want to address the council regarding regulations around fencing and in-ground swimming pools. Obviously, this is something that may have been discussed recently. I've been paying a lot of attention to regulations look like in surrounding cities and across the state. And oftentimes with a pool that has an auto cover that does meet ASTM F1346 safety requirements, can forego the use of a surrounding fence and closing the area. So I'm asking that the council consider updating some of our regulations to match that as well. You know, obviously safety is going to be a concern. It's a concern for me. I have a 9-year-old daughter. I guess my perspective is that with the improvements in safety around swimming pools with these auto covers that do withstand an incredible amount, that they do meet the necessary safety guidelines that I hope that we adopt. So.
Brandon, I appreciate you being here. You're right, this is not the first time that we've heard this. We've heard this before. We've heard it from a former council person. I've heard it from a fellow neighbor. And I have a pool myself and had to put in a cover and a fence. It's tough, right? Because you got a lot of money going into this, and the last thing you want is to have both of these items. But I can tell you right now, I feel way safer having both of those things. There's a lot of times where you're not going to necessarily cover that pool, but the fence is there to protect you from liability from some neighborhood kid coming wandering in. Now, could you leave them both open? Absolutely, but I don't know. I think we've got that for a reason, but you're right. There are other cities that have other ordinances and whatnot. So why don't we do this? We will put you in contact with somebody in our building inspection department, have a conversation with them, and we will go from there.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Brandon.
Okay, anybody else in the chamber for Citizens Forum? All right, come on up.
Rich Stevens, 545th Street, West Des Moines, Iowa. Yes, and I had a little handout there, but I'm sorry to say the handout's null and void. Well, I did have a chat with the city engineer, and that property is not of good use for a motorcycle stunt park. So we're not going to stop trying. We called out the real estate brain trust in order to find a place where kids can get a little bit of air on electric motorcycles. And I feel this is important. I remember being that 14-year-old and having so much fun at it. It's being done in some places that are not entirely safe. And we are really trying to find a place where we can make this happen. If Des Moines AM Rotary made it happen with a skate park in downtown Des Moines, and their first answers were no, then I think we can find a place. Thanks.
Rich, I want to just point out that I think we need to be looking at not just for electric motorcycles, but all dirt bikes, because otherwise it comes down to, well, it's a dirt bike park and I got a 450 Yamaha, I'm going to go ride it. And then how do you enforce that and the whole bit? So I think that's where you need to be looking, is something that's going to accommodate all types of dirt bikes.
I agree.
ideally, side-by-sides and 4x4s, or four-wheelers, but definitely gas-powered dirt bikes as well.
Yeah, they're definitely equivalent. I had long discussions with people. I almost wrote in here on an electric motorcycle. But after discussion, their question was, Rich, what's the biggest motorcycle you ever rode? Honda 550. Rich, I don't want you to die. So he did not loan me the electric motorcycle.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to keep looking. Please keep your eyes and ears open. I would have really liked that spot, but I understand that it's not likely to work.
Right. All right, thank you.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for the
Well,
proposal.
Rich, I appreciate you
Yeah,
being here, but
appreciate
I
it.
just want to make sure that we're extremely clear here. We have a number of projects, quality of life projects, that Parks and Rec Advisory Board went over, dreamed up. Some of them made the cut, some of them did not make the cut.
Sure.
We've got a 26.2-mile marathon loop trail that's out there that we're working on little by little. I think we still are looking at potentially tiny homes or yurts in the Greenway. There's a number of quality of life amenities that I think we're still looking at and still working on. I don't want to have this be like a foregone conclusion that as soon as we find land, we're doing this. I mean, this is something that it sounds great. It's a great project that sounds like we would have dreamt it up. But there are other projects out there as well. And if we're really truly going to look at this probably needs to go to the Parks and Rec Advisory Board, along with some of the other projects that they're looking at, and they need to prioritize things. And so I just want to make sure that we're not thinking that if all of a sudden we found land tomorrow, this would absolutely happen. You've pointed out an issue that we have with e-bikes and that you would like addressed. We're looking at that. We're investigating it. I think we're still planning on having a public safety city council subcommittee meeting. Do we know now when that is? Is that beginning of October? Yes. Like the first Friday in October?
October the 1st.
October 1st. So we will discuss this issue October 2nd. We will discuss this issue at that time. Okay.
Have it on the
Folks,
1st.
I don't know what it is with this issue, but we can't get our dates straight. October 1st, we will discuss this issue at the Public Safety City Council Subcommittee, regardless of whether or not we have some kind of a dirt bike track. That's not a foregone conclusion. I just want to make sure that,
And I will say that significant progress has been made
okay, awesome.
for creating a safe environment.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you, Rich.
you.
Thanks for being here. Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum? Okay, not seeing any movement. I'm going to go online. Anybody online for Citizens Forum, hit *6, not #6, not #6, but *6 and unmute yourself and give us your name and address for the record. Is there anybody online that would like to address the council for Citizens Forum? Going once, going twice. Okay, Citizens Forum is closed. We will now move on to item 3, Mayor, Council, Manager Report, Other Entities Update. And we're going to start actually with item 3A with Karen Cortez from the Human Services Advisory Board that is going to give us an update. And Audrey Kennis, our director, will be joining her.
There we go. Good evening. My name is Karen Cortez. My address is 1269 South 51st Street here in West Des Moines. Good evening, Mayor Trimble and council members. My name is Karen Cortez, and I serve as chair of the West Des Moines Human Services Advisory Board. On behalf of our whole board, thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Your commitment makes our work possible, and we're grateful to serve the residents of West Des Moines alongside you. Mayor Trimble, your leadership and advocacy for strengthening our community makes a real difference for the families that we serve. And Councilmember Lotz, as our council liaison, we are especially grateful for your partnership and ongoing engagement with our board. You help ensure our work stays aligned with the city's vision and help advocate for human services back to the city council. That kind of connection is invaluable. Thank you. To the full council, thank you for your continued support of our human services. Your commitment allows us to meet immediate needs while also reimagining how we can help residents move toward upward mobility and long-term success. As you know, Human Services offers a wide range of supports emergency assistance, food and personal pantry, clothing, medical care, etc. Since you're familiar with those programs, I won't cover them today, but you're always available to answer any questions you have regarding those. I want to focus tonight on two areas: the growing need in our community and how we are reimagining our work to meet that need. First, the need continued to rise. While food pantry usage remains one of the most visible indicators, we're seeing significant increases across other services as well. Requests for emergency financial assistance, clothing, transit passes, and personal care items. More families are stretched, and more individuals are turning for immediate relief month after month. I'm sure this is no surprise to you that when I emphasize that this pattern will not subside or slow down anytime soon. That leads to my second point, innovation. We know our role cannot be limited to providing short-term help. Our goal is to help lift people out of needing our services altogether. This year, we've undertaken a few steps. We've launched a Community of Care campaign, which united businesses, community members, and city employees in a shared effort and raised over $70,000. And we've streamlined our operations, new technology, improved processes, and better space design, so staff and volunteers can serve more people more effectively. Our volunteers are truly our heart of our organization, but our professional staff remains equally essential to bring the specialized skills needed for case management and program delivery and to protect our clients' privacy. We're also expanding public-private partnerships with employers and schools to connect clients to training and career opportunities that lead to higher-paying jobs. We're launching a new tech lab in partnership with Microsoft and just launched a new data center academy with DMAC. To this point, I'd like to invite you to join us for the tech lab launch on Thursday, September 25th at 9 a.m. Please connect with Audrey for details and additional information. And finally, we're also exploring possible on-site financial classes because building financial confidence is key to sustained stability. Together, these changes are helping us move forward from meeting immediate needs to building pathways for long-term success. We've accomplished a lot in 2025. We've shared a packet with you, and we have a couple slides full of great information of everything we've accomplished. Finally, as we look ahead, we invite you to join us in sustaining this momentum. Our fall fundraiser will take place on October 16th, and we would love your support. The event is not just about raising funds. It's about strengthening our community connections and ensuring Human Services can continue to support the needs of our residents. Thank you again for your time, your partnership, and your belief in this work. With your continued support, we can keep building a West Des Moines where every person has the opportunity to thrive. Do you have any questions for me right now or for Audrey?
Any questions for Karen or Audrey? I would just say, Karen, thank you for your leadership as chair of the Human Services Advisory Board. It's extremely important work that you and the board do. Thank you to the Friends Foundation as well. They are absolutely crucial to our mission and everything we do there. That's where I started my public service, was on the Human Service Advisory Board. Did that for about 6 or 7 years before being elected to council. And it is truly the heart of our community. All the services that we provide are absolutely amazing for those in need. And I would say I love, what you guys are doing now, that you are looking at trying to help make people self-sufficient, trying to help them get the skills that they need to get a job or get a better job and support their families. I think that's just extremely important. So, and the new event looks great. It's maybe time for a refresh. And so hopefully we can raise a ton of money at that event. I'd encourage everybody to attend that event. All right, anything at all for Audrey or Karen?
I just want to thank Audrey and Karen both for the work that you guys do. Put a lot of time and effort in it. My question was going to be, by the way, I bought my tickets, so I think you guys know that. If anybody else can attend, please come. It'll be a great time. Has there been any progress yet since the last board meeting on the jobs for these folks? And have we talked to any of the folks in the community? Catherine's over there with the chamber, and I've been I'm seeing Al too. I know Al's got jobs over there. Have we made any progress trying to connect all these dots?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Councilmember Lentz. And good evening, everyone. Audrey Kinnis, Director of Human Services. To your question, yes, we have. I will tell you, though, this is a new initiative for us. And so we are trying to take a very deliberate approach. And so there are, I think, quite a few jobs that folks maybe have here in our community. But as you know, we just launched this partnership with DMAC and another local corporate partner. And so we are gradually building that initiative, right? And so that's where we're really putting our focus right now. It's been extremely successful. They just wrapped up their first class and everyone completed, all 15 students. And so we're going to really watch this. This is a pilot. So our goal is to be able to replicate this if it is successful. And so our hope is we will expand this into other areas and ventures. But I do think it's showing us what I would call promising practices or strategies right now. And so I think this is such a gem for our city.
Councilwoman Hardman.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Karen, and thank you, Audrey, and the team. I just like to say I am, so impressed with the work that you all do, with the resources that you have. There are a lot of people that think West Des Moines is rich and there's no need, okay? I hear that all the time. And they think we're this rich suburb and we don't have people that are in desperate need for services. But when I look at page 4 and I look at all that you all do, it is really a blessing that we are there for the folks that are indigent, for the folks that are immigrants, for the folks that are refugees, for the folks that need help with education, all of those kinds of things. So I'm proud to represent a city that still feels that this and supports this particular service and the work that you all do as outreach. Audrey is as good as it gets in terms of the plethora of places that she is at, where she represents the West Des Moines, where she's forming partnerships. So I'm appreciative of her leadership and how she is elevating human services. So keep doing what you're doing. And I just want to say I appreciate it, that you all are dispelling myths out there that West Des Moines is a city that doesn't need to have this service. We do. We do. So thank you.
The other thing I would say is you talked about our volunteers and how important they are, how many, hours they put in to provide the services, and then our residents who, when we have this dinner, I want to say we raise like $40,000 every single year that goes into providing some of the assistance and the services that we provide. A lot of the city funding goes to fund staff to be able to do the jobs that they do, but we rely on those donations from members of our community. And then the corporate partners, extremely important. The corporate partner that's working with you here on this workforce initiative, they don't like to take attention. They like to do things kind of anonymously, but God bless them. I'm grateful for them and them stepping up to help in this initiative. So thank you guys for being here.
Thanks, Grant.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
So
both.
much. Okay, moving on with Mayor, Council, Manager report. I'll move down to my left here with Councilman Lotz to start us out. Any report?
Nothing this week, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Trevilian.
Nothing this.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Hardman.
Yeah, thank you. I'll lift up just a couple of things. The first thing I wanted to lift up is that on Friday, the West Des Moines Chamber is hosting the Women Mentoring Event. I think there's a host of about 25 or so mentors. Yours truly will be one of the keynote speakers at the luncheon event. So I'm proud to represent City of West Des Moines as a city council person, hopefully lifting up and inspiring women that are trying to excel in their careers, dealing with life situations and work situations. So proud to participate in that on Friday, the 19th from 8:30 to about 3 o'clock. Participated on the Public Works Subcommittee with Councilman Trevilian, and a pretty robust meeting whereby which we took up from last week's discussion the notion of alleys. And so we promised that we would talk about it at our meeting, and we did. And I want to thank Brian for presenting what I considered a major matrix of the prioritization of the alleys. It was so well laid out. I learned a lot from that in terms of how comprehensive this process really is. So also, there's some outreach that's going to be done. There was a lady there that had some concerns about some things. Director Rank indicated he'd go out, or his staff would go out and look at that. And then I think there was a commitment that was made, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Councilman Trevilian, that we would also look at having some conversations or some kind of outreach with some folks as it relates to alleys. Is that right? Okay. So that was a robust meeting. I just wanted to acknowledge that we followed up on at least having a good conversation about it, because there were some issues that were raised at the last meeting. We haven't fixed everything yet, and there's probably some things that, folks, in terms of the prioritization, I learned that this is almost a 2 to 3 year process, so it's just not something that is just going to happen overnight. Let me try to see if there's anything else here. I am looking forward to the meeting on October the 1st. Councilman Hudson and I will be facilitating that meeting. I chair public safety. I just want to make sure I set forth expectations that we're not there to make any decisions. This will be a listening meeting. This will be a listening meeting of all interested parties to share their thoughts and their feelings about what's all going on with e-bikes and all of this kind of stuff. So again, I just want to set clear expectations that it will be a listening meeting for Councilman Hudson and myself to hear what's on the minds of more than people that come to this council meeting. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman McKinney.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of brief updates for you. And first, I want to extend appreciation to Paul Tauke, who joined the Valley Junction Neighborhood Association meeting on Saturday, a week and a few days ago. Happened to kick off at 11 o'clock. It happened to coincide with the Iowa State game, but he took time out of his Saturday to come down to Valley Junction to talk to neighbors about questions and concerns that they had relative to compliance-related issues and some other things. So he took a good hour and a half to sit down there and talk with folks, and I just wanted to give a shout out to him and thank him for taking the time to do that. And it just highlights the continued conversations that the community is having relative to code compliance. I don't serve on that committee. We've talked about it at Public Services. My understanding that community compliance will be taking that up. I look forward to whenever that conversation occurs, because we got to do better. And then the last thing I'd say is I appreciate what the West Des Moines Chamber is doing in the community. Just this last week, we had a good gathering of folks as part of their leadership group. And so, Catherine, thank you for what you continue to do regularly to pull members of the council, the community at large together to talk about issues facing the city. So just, again, thank you for all you do. That's all I've got, your Mayor.
All right, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Hudson.
Nothing at this time, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, Councilman. City Manager Haddon.
No report, Your Honor.
Short and sweet. All right. Okay, with that, we are going to move on to item 4, consent agenda. We are going to pull items 4C9 and item 4M, which is the proclamation honoring Latino Heritage Month. Are there any other items that any council person would like to pull and have voted on separately? If not, I would just take
Move for the
a motion.
remainder.
Okay, it's been moved. It's been seconded. Is there, I'm sorry, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 4C9, Come and Go LC doing business as Maverick, 5364, 330 Jordan Creek Parkway, Class E retail alcohol license renewal. Does somebody want to move approval?
Motion to approve.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
4 yes, 1 abstention due to potential conflict of interest.
Okay, item 4M is a proclamation for Latino Heritage Month, September 15th through October 15th, 2025. Does somebody want to move approval of the proclamation?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, and I will read, and then after we vote, anybody that's here for that, if you want to meet us down in front, we will take a picture. Okay. Whereas the city of West Des Moines proclaims Monday, September 15th through Wednesday, October 15th, 2025 as Latino Heritage Month. And whereas the first observance began in 1968 as a week-long celebration that called upon all Americans to learn about Latino history and was expanded to a full month in 1988 by President Ronald Reagan. On September 15th, 16th, and 18th, many Latin American countries celebrate their Independence Day. And whereas this month provides us the opportunity to highlight the countless contributions of Latinos in West Des Moines, as the fastest growing minoritized population in Iowa, Latinos help shape the social, cultural, and economic fabric of our state. They also account for 19% of the U.S. population, which equates to over 65 million people. And whereas throughout West Des Moines history, the Latino community has played a significant role in the development of historic Valley Junction. Serving as rail and cement workers, they helped build the railroad and make the cement that would be used to pave roads and sidewalks. We are also proud to host the annual Cinco de Mayo celebration here in West Des Moines. Now, therefore, I, Russ Trimble, Mayor of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th, 2025 as Latino Heritage Month. Together, let us commit to learning about the diverse experiences and contributions of Latino Americans. Signed this 15th day of September, 2025. Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, anybody that's here for this proclamation, why don't you meet us down in front? We will take a picture.
On the right side.
Good.
There we go. 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
You're gonna make him zoom in.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate it. Okay. Oh.
All righty. Okay, moving on to item 5, old business. Item 5A, Cedar Ridge, Lot 27, Cedar Ridge Plat 3, Outlot Y, 9239 Cedar Ridge Drive, amend the zoning map to establish single-family residential zoning, KRM Development LLC. We have got an ordinance amendment for approval of the second reading, waiver of the third reading, and adoption in final form. There are no outstanding issues and no changes from the previous reading, which was adopted unanimously by the council at the last meeting with Councilman Lotz absent.
Move consideration of the second reading.
Second.
Okay, so moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending Title IX zoning, Chapter 4, zoning districts and maps.
Move approval of the second reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Move to waive the third reading and adopt in final form.
Second.
Please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 5B, ordinance amendment, amend Title 4, Health and Safety Regulations, Title 7, Public Ways and Property, Title 8, Building Regulations, and Title 10, Subdivision Regulations to modify regulations pertaining to second dwelling units. City initiated. We've once again got an ordinance amendment for approval of the second reading, waiver third reading, adoption of final form. There are no outstanding issues and no changes from the previous reading, which again was adopted unanimously by the council at the last meeting with Councilman Lotz absent.
Move consideration second reading.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, please vote.
5 yes, ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024, Title 4 Health and Safety Regulations, Title 7 Public Ways and Property, Title 8 Building Regulations, and Title 10 Subdivision Regulations pertaining to second dwelling units.
Move approval of second reading.
Please vote.
5 yes.
Move waiving the third reading and adopt in final form.
Please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 5C, motion for approval of traffic code amendment, special stops required, 92nd Street and Westtown Parkway, 89th Street and Oxford Drive, 90th Street and Oxford Drive, South Gentle Flats Avenue and Westport Drive. We've got an ordinance amendment for approval of the second reading, waiver of the third reading, adoption of final form. There are no outstanding issues and no changes from the previous reading, which was adopted unanimously again by the council at the last meeting with Councilman Lotz absent.
Move consideration of second reading.
Okay?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance amend the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending provisions pertaining to the traffic code relating to official traffic controls.
Move approval of second reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Move to waive third reading and approve in final form.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 5D, a motion for approval of traffic code amendments, delete special yield required, 92nd Street and Westtown Parkway, A Street and Center Street, A Street and Office Park Road, 4th Street and Grand Avenue. We've got an ordinance amendment for approval of second reading, waiver of third reading, adoption of final form. There are no outstanding issues and no changes from the previous reading, which was adopted unanimously by the council at the last meeting with Councilman Lotz absent.
Move consideration second reading.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's a move and second. Is there any discussion? Okay, please vote.
Feel like I missed out on a lot last time there.
Yeah.
5 yes, an ordinance amend the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending provisions pertaining to the traffic code relating to official traffic controls.
Move approval of second reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Move waiving the third reading and adopt in final form.
Second.
Please vote.
The good thing, Doug, is you get to vote on it all anyways.
That's all right, that's all right.
5 yes.
Okay, item 5E, motion for approval of traffic code amendment, no parking zones, Maple Street, 11th Street to 100 feet east of 11th Street on the south side of Maple Street. Once again, we've got an ordinance amendment for approval of second reading, waiver of third reading, adoption to final form. There are no outstanding issues and no changes from the previous reading, which was adopted unanimously by the council at our last meeting with Councilman Lotz absent.
Motion for consideration second reading.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and second. Is there any discussion? Okay, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending provisions pertaining to the traffic code relating to official traffic controls.
Motion approval second reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Motion to waive a third reading and adopt in final form.
Second.
Please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 5F, we've got a motion for approval of traffic code amendments, delete channelized intersection at 4th Street and Grand Avenue. And once again, we've got an ordinance amendment for approval of second reading, waiver third reading, adoption, final form. There are no outstanding issues and no changes from the previous reading, which was adopted unanimously by the council with a certain councilman absent.
Motion to consider second reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Doug, I know you're excited, and there's nothing sexier than channelized intersections.
That's right.
I'm
That's right.
here.
And you're here to vote on it.
Here we go, you're here.
Okay, please vote.
Five yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending provisions pertaining to the traffic code relating to official traffic controls.
Motion to approve the second reading.
Okay, please vote.
Five yes.
Motion to approve the third reading and adopt in final form.
Please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 6, public hearings. Item 6A, this is a time and a place for public hearing to consider Mill Civic Parkway, Rockwood Lane, annexation initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
August 21st, 2025 in the Dallas County News.
And have we received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience who would like to address the council on item 6A, please come to the podium here, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 and do the same. Is there anybody in the audience or online that would like to address the council on item 6A? I think we got people deciding who wants to go first, who's going to be second. Come on up, don't be afraid. Come on up.
All right, ladies first.
All right, you got 5 minutes to be fair to everybody. I'm going to time this, and if you just want to come up and give us your name and address for the record, then you
Yeah.
can go ahead and start.
Mish Kreis, 33799 Rockwood Lane.
Okay, go ahead.
I just essentially want to say, again, I love the city and I love what you guys are doing. I agree with Renee with Human Resources and appreciate, again, what our city is doing for others. I appreciate we're, identifying and calling out cultural groups and making, calling out months to celebrate them. That is absolutely on brand and I identify with that.
Thank you.
What I don't know if you guys would identify with as part of our brand as West Des Moines citizens is essentially what is happening here. What I see is an 80-20, and I don't know if we've done a bait and switch with what's been offered. I heard it was, just by applying, that wouldn't be a binding contract, and essentially on Rockwood Lane, from my understanding, our neighbors are not interested in being annexed, and that would include us. And we're 6 acres of what you guys are proposing to annex. So I hope you guys reconsider, because I don't know that we have an 80-20. Have you guys confirmed that people, knowing that this is now the new plots and Fox Creek's not included, do we still have 80? Because you don't have us and.
I believe we're here because we do have 80-20, but this goes to the, in front of the City Development Board, I believe, for consideration coming up. So-
Again, yeah, it's worth knowing that,
Yeah.
we're one that applied because we
Sure.
knew it wasn't binding, and we figured if, again, all I see on the letter is obviously what is guaranteed, which is a 10-year tax abatement. I don't know if there's still more that's coming with it, but if not, then we wouldn't want to sign on just to get higher taxes eventually at 100%. So we're one that's definitely not wanting to be annexed, and I imagine there's a lot more.
And are
that
you saying
guys
you
should-
were counted as part of the 80-20?
That is
You were
correct.
part of the 80,
Correct.
not part of the
And
20?
Again,
Okay.
and that was last year, and again, we also heard deadlines that were gonna be a lot sooner
Okay.
than this, so I think that it's worth revisiting and making sure that you really have 80, because.
But you said you signed on, so what are you talking, referring to?
You were applying, so you can apply. We were told by city council that or
City
perhaps it
staff.
was Ryan, rather. I'm not sure who we spoke with that said it was not a binding contract to just apply.
Was not.
Correct, that it is not a binding to apply. So we're like, what does it
So
hurt?
applied for, is
And
Ryan
again-
back there? Can you come forward, Ryan, and address what she's talking about as far as applied for?
Apply to be annexed, right? So you can,
Right.
just like
If
what
you-
they
if you-
sent out
if
with
you
our
vote-
certified.
You're saying now that you don't, so you signed, you did want to annex, now you're saying you don't want to annex.
Again, when it was originally brought up to us, we heard internet, we heard that, there was gonna be water lines that were gonna be discounted, sewer, and now all I've seen is, again, just the tax abatement. So regardless of that, it does not make sense for us to be annexed just.
Okay, Ryan, can you address that, please?
Also, I think the semantics, maybe putting the semantics aside for what word we use, I think the key word is binding or not. And I think you're right that the intention was never to be binding, but, and I think that's what I'm hearing you say, right?
Correct, as well as we've kind of changed some things, so it's
Yeah.
not, we do know that, based on conversations we had, that the tax money you get from the people that would be annexed isn't really gonna move the needle much, so if so, we just hope that, at least for Rockwood Lane, I don't wanna speak for others, because I know you got Mill Civic on there, but at least for Rockwood Lane, I know we are not interested in being annexed. So, if it's different if you had Fox Creek and we're, in the middle there, but since you don't, to me, it changes things. So what we might have agreed to before again, that's not now and when it's really happening with what's being offered. So, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Ryan Moffett, Community and Economic Development Director. So just to back up briefly before I answer that question, as you'll recall, we had a council workshop on May 19th of this year, really to get direction on how to proceed with the Fox Creek annexation, which is something our department's been working on since late 2022. At that point, it was apparent that we weren't going to reach the 80% threshold needed to take in all of Fox Creek and Sugar Creek Hills. So we came up with an alternative that allowed selective annexation to happen in more of kind of a case-by-case basis, and more of an incremental approach. The applications that were signed as a part of the annexation that's before you tonight, there are two places to sign on the application. There's one that basically says you are consenting, this is not something that you can withdraw at a later date. There's another line that you can sign that says you can withdraw that at a later date. There is one application that we've gotten, I'd have to go back and see which property owner that was, but to my knowledge, there was only one that signed the application that had the ability to withdraw at a later date. So we wouldn't bring this forward if we didn't think that we had 80% support to proceed with that annexation. I will say too, I mean, I think one of the directions that we got from the council workshop was the issue of tax abatement on the city levy. And we actually increased that to the maximum that we could offer. And I think a lot of the feedback on the residents that we've talked to, they were supportive of making sure they could take advantage of that because it was something that we weren't going to offer in perpetuity. We basically said, get this in by the end of July of this year. Otherwise, this offer is going to lapse from the city. So in short, I would need to go back and see which of those applications signed on the line that said that they do not consent with this, which would probably drop us below the 80% threshold with the current math that's there. But when we sent this notice out, I've received 2 inquiries, basically just, when is the meeting? What is this about? I really haven't heard from anyone that hasn't been supportive. Obviously, there's people that are not in support of being annexed that I gathered would not be supportive in the future as well. But this really is the time and a place to discuss all this and have this public meeting. But I haven't received any inquiries about people that would withdraw their support at a later date.
So did you say, though, did I hear you say that you did have one that said they signed on the dotted line that said they could withdraw, and they have withdrawn, right?
They have
and
not. They have not. Now, they might be here in the audience. I'd have to go back and see which
But
person
then
that
you
is,
said
but
you think that takes us below the 80%.
I think that would, yes. But we wouldn't bring this before you tonight if we knew we were below the 80% threshold. We wouldn't even have that up for a hearing, so.
Well, I think what Misha's talking about is she's remembering the deal that we had initially when we thought we were going to do a greater annexation and we were offering to bring the conduit network out there, and we were also offering to bring water service out there, or have Waterworks bring water service out there. That deal is null and void because Fox Creek did not want to be annexed into it, and so now what we have is this 10-year sliding scale abatement. And I think what you're saying is the sliding scale abatement changes your mind. If it's a sliding scale abatement plus the conduit network and the water, that might be a different deal for you. But this in and of itself, no.
But if they're added, if this annexation goes through and they become part of the city of West Des Moines, the conduit network will continue and will get extended out there.
Yeah.
As far as the water, I can't speak to that. Obviously, we'd have to have Christina talk with that, but they're still going to get the conduit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a discussion of phasing on how quickly the city can get out to these areas that are annexed in, but that's the intent that I've heard council say before, is we want to serve all West Des Moines residents. And property
And the
owners
other
with
thing
fiber
that when, we had the discussion with Fox Creek that they never brought up is it's not just that you're receiving this 10-year sliding scale abatement, but you are also getting police, fire, EMS, plowing the streets, fixing the streets. You're going to be getting all of the city services that we offer. So there is quite a bit that you'll be getting for the taxes that you'll be paying. But, it's going to take some time to be able to serve that area and for the conduit network to be able to be built out to that area as well. I don't know what was promised under the original agreement as far as, how long it would take for us to build out the conduit network and get it out to that area. We had talked about doing that, but I'm not sure we said it's going to be there right away.
That specific at the time. We just committed that we would get to it.
So Ryan, to be clear on the binding portion, there was a couple years ago and there was kind of the feelers put out for this new plan for all of it. And that might have been a non-binding situation potentially. But the more recent one, you had 2 lines. One was a signature that was non-binding and there was another signature that was binding. Did I get that right? Just want to make sure.
And that's on every annexation application.
Yep, I just wanted to be
You know,
clear
and that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed since, you know, May of this year before we were proceeding down this route of doing more incremental approaches to annexation versus the wholesale.
Okay.
And if I could, Ryan, I'm gonna,
Ryan,
Yeah.
can you help me understand the 80-20? You said that we don't have 80 now, or we had it?
He doesn't know whether we have 80-20. This puts it into question, but he's got to go back. Unfortunately, we had a staff member that is no longer with us that was in charge of this. And so we've got to go back and take a look at it, and we will do that. If we don't have the 80-20, then I think we'll probably put this on hold, or maybe we want to put it on hold now.
That, I'm just going to make a motion right now that we defer this for at least
Well-
2 weeks to figure out, do we have
80-20.
80-20? Because if we've got one property owner that signed that they had the right to withdraw, and they do withdraw, and that puts us below the 80-20, then we don't have it, and this is, there's no need to move forward with this.
let's-
But
what-
if we're still above 80, so I'm going to make a motion that we
Well, hold off.
do this for 2 weeks.
Hold off on your motion. We have to hold the public hearing. Let's continue to do that. Let's
right.
listen to people, and then we'll come back to you
and
for a
I
motion.
would just say too, I mean, I don't know, you know, again, tonight is the first that I'm hearing of anyone that had signed previously that's not supportive. But if that one person ends up withdrawing and everyone else signed an application that's binding essentially, that allows us to go forward, that could still result in an annexation of portions of this area. We might just have to reduce the full area that we would take in. So I guess that would be a secondary question from council. You know, really, we've got some development parcels here. You see on the map that parcel at the southeast corner of Grand Prairie and Mills. Development parcel, we've had a developer that's been a very cool customer to allow this annexation process to play out. They would like to get going, but there could be people here that are supportive of annexation that want to take advantage of the city's offer. I haven't heard that until now.
We just
So
need to know if we got
I guess my
80-20.
point is that there still could be an annexation of portions of these property owners, even if that one property owner that has the application that can withdraw, does withdraw.
Okay.
Sure. And I think the assumption here is that we're right at 80% even, and that may not be the case either. So,
Yeah, it's 19% basically that's not in support based on our GIS
Okay,
calculation of
okay.
this map.
okay. All right. Well, Ryan, why don't you hang out in the front, and let's continue the public hearing. Anybody else that would like to speak? It looked like there was at least 2, maybe 3 other people. Come on up, give us your name and address for the record. And you've also got 5 minutes. We're going to hear from everybody, then we're going to close the public hearing. We're going to have some discussion and a motion, and we'll go from there. So, okay, go ahead and give us your name and address for the record whenever you're ready.
Hi, thank you for having us here. My name is Michael Manley. My address is 33305 335th Street, Waukee. And
My name is Eric Brown. We're at 33295 335th Street. We're next door neighbors.
Waukee?
Waukee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
so one thing that I find interesting that's been discussed here, I have been to meetings with our neighborhood, and there really is very little. I haven't heard of anybody who wants to be annexed. I have heard of several people who do not want to be annexed. Looking at the state code, when it comes to annexation, especially voluntary annexation, 368.6, intent, says it is the intent of the General Assembly to provide an annexation approval procedure which gives the due consideration to the wishes of the residents of territory to be annexed and to the interests of the residents of all territories affected by the annexation. The General Assembly presumes that a voluntary annexation of territory more closely reflects the wishes of the residents of territory to be annexed, and therefore intends that the annexation approval procedure include a presumption of validity for voluntary annexation approval. So it really sounds like it's heavily on what our desire is to be. And for example, Eric here, he did sign the form. He did sign the waiver to not be able to revoke or withdraw. It was, I mean, he can speak for himself here in a moment, but one of the things is, who could claim that benefits the property owner to even have a line where you waive your right? I mean, that seems like that's thrown in there just to basically, it's a gotcha thing. I mean, you might have somebody dead to rights, but no, people are going to be upset about this. This is not what they willingly wanted to do. This is not what they intended. and you can go ahead and speak.
Yes, up to when we signed this, we wasn't aware, we thought we had 3 days after the hearing today to withdraw, but then we looked at the bottom line that said you waive your right to consent to annexation within 3 business days, so you don't have that right. And after talking to him, I was like, oh, well, we have 3 days, and then he read the fine print, and it says, no, we don't. So we're against the annexation for our address.
Let me ask you, why were you for it before?
What's that?
Why were you for the annexation? Why did you sign the document? What changed? What's made you change your mind, I guess?
Well, the sewer, for one thing, we were told that it could be up to $60,000 for us to hook up to the sewer line. And that's something, we don't have that kind of money to do that type of stuff. So that was the main thing. The water line, they said approximately $3,500 to hook up to the water. And it was brought up in the hearing that it could be up to, a guy asked a question, it could be up to $60,000 to hook up to the sewer. And they said, however, if your septic is working, it might be okay for a while, but if not, then we're forced to hook up to the sewer. And that's $60,000 we don't have.
Well, why did you sign it initially?
This form right here?
Yeah.
So we signed the form knowing that we had 3 days after this hearing to change our minds. And that's not the case. We signed it in April, my wife and I.
But even if you had the right to withdraw, why did you sign that you were in favor of the annexation?
Because we were feeling kind of pressured, actually, because we got the letter that's saying that we were not going to get all these benefits that they're going to give us if we don't sign.
Well, you're not, because you wouldn't be part of the city. So,
I mean, the benefits of signing by this date, May or April, you have to sign by that date, or they might not offer you the same benefits again. You might not get that if you don't sign right now, basically.
Okay.
So that's why we signed.
And additionally, what I think, really there are no benefits. We are going to get a phased-in tax, which is less than what it would be eventually, but a tax that we don't even have to pay currently. All of the things that you said in terms of police, I've lived there 20 years. We have the sheriff, which I've maybe had out there twice in the 20 years that I've lived there. Fire departments have to respond. Every benefit that is being talked about that we would receive with these additional taxes, we currently enjoy. So there is no benefit to us agreeing to this. And this map that we see here, do we get 5 as a joint, or do we?
I'm going to give you guys, if it's not normal that 2 people come up and speak at the same time, but yes, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. But I really think that I'm not necessarily opposed to eventually being annexed, but I would really like it to be an amicable process. And right now, I feel as though this hasn't been really straightforward. I think the redesignation of the districts, back when we were talking about this 80-20, we were given a map originally that really seemed like, it seems like that's kind of been changed in terms of what is required to get there. And I think a lot of people did feel pressured. There was language in here, I know at a meeting that we had at Fox Creek, that people thought this is the last absolute offer ever, and if we don't take this, we'll get nothing. And
yeah, I think what you're thinking of, and people are getting confused with, and I think Mish was the same way, is we had a greater annexation agreement that we were looking at doing that included Fox Creek, that included Napa Valley, and we were negotiating with them. We had some other things in here. We had the water, we had the conduit network, and we were telling people at that time, this is our last offer. If you want to do this, great, let's sign. If not, we can't agree that we're going to extend these other benefits if we come back to annex later, which now we're doing. And so I think there's some confusion on that. I'm assuming you signed because you wanted those additional benefits. You wanted the broadband, you wanted the water, and you signed for those reasons because you wanted to get in when the going was good. And now those things aren't there, like what Mish said, and So I think that's what you're looking at, but
I think it should be reviewed. It should be looked at again.
But you have to understand, sir, the Iowa code does specify that it is 80% of the landowners in the annexation versus 20% that do not want it. So even if you don't want it, you're adamantly opposed to it. If 80% of the land area agrees to it, you could be angrier than
Oh, I
heck.
understand that. I
But that's
understand
what the
that.
code provides
But what I'm
us to
saying
do.
is that the code that I just read.
Yeah.
There really seems to be an intent there, which is being ignored. And I think that,
But it's not, but that's what I'm saying, it's not being ignored. 80% of the landowners,
Sure.
80% of the area,
I mean, in terms of the people that signed, I mean, here, I know he wants to withdraw. He lives right next to me, so we speak regularly. I haven't spoken to everyone we had somebody else who signed.
but you understand that you could have 10 people in here that are adamantly opposed to it, but they represent 15% of the land area.
You said all it takes is one person.
No.
No, I mean,
you're
it's another
not-
person.
Maybe, that's what we
I
need to
know,
look
but
into.
but that's all I'm saying is that
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people signed this because they felt there was no other option. And I do not see how it benefits anybody to waive, anytime somebody waives their rights away, that is not for the benefit of the individual, that is for the benefit of the other party. That was for the benefit of West Des Moines, that is not the benefit.
Well, because what it's saying is that if you agree to sign here, you're agreeing to be annexed in.
And we don't
for-
have
For you to
attorneys on
come back,
retainer.
but that's something that you probably
I
should
know.
have done.
We're stuck, exactly, I know, you got us. Okay.
No, and I'm not,
It's not a
and I'm not
gotcha.
saying it's, I got you. That's
I
not
know
what
you're
I'm
not saying
saying.
it, but that's what it works out to be. Yes, he signed it, and that's just how it is. You have to live with it. But I'm just saying, it would be nice for some consideration here. That you have a lot of people that regret what it is that they've done now that they've had more time to look at it and to discuss it. And I would just like that to be considered and reviewed, and maybe we have this come up again with everyone being informed, knowing exactly what they're getting into now.
Okay. Anything else? You've got about a minute, and then we're going to take other commentary, and then we will close the public hearing.
Okay.
You guys
That's
good? All right. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate your feedback on this.
Can I just make one more quick
Oh, you got to come up, but it's got to be quick because we've already given you 5 minutes, so.
Mish Price, 33799 Rockwood Lane.
Okay.
Just, I mean, one thing to reconsider is the fact that when we signed, that was with a different map, not the pared down version, as well
Okay.
as all the other amenities, which we would have considered signing on for, so.
Okay, we'll take a look at
Yeah.
that. We don't know what everybody signed, what they haven't signed.
Well, that's- how can
We
you
haven't
make
been
it
privy
binding?
to
It
those
didn't-
documents,
it
but it
was very
sounds
high
to me
level,
like it
yeah.
was this bigger deal, and now it's changed, and,
So how is it binding for us
right,
when you're not
right.
being
We'll take
held?
a look at that.
Take a look at that.
Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum? Before I go online. Come up now or forever hold out? Here we go. All right. Name and address for the record, please.
Steve Hawker, 33713 Rockwood Lane. So.
All right, go ahead, Steve.
And I want to, I was one of the
Are you in
non-signing.
Waukee or West Des Moines?
Well,
It would technically be unincorporated.
yeah.
It would technically be unincorporated,
Yes,
Dallas
on-
County.
They call us Boonville or Boontown or whatever it is.
All right, got it.
And I was one that did not sign the paper. But I will confirm, the way it was written, the way it seemed to be communicated was you either take this with the whole pictures, you either sign the paper or you're not going to get the decreased tax rate. Didn't say anything about changing anything else. So it was and I got called on it twice. And I said, no, I don't want to sign this because I know what's going to happen. We've already been told. And it's fine, I understand that, but we are a bit unique. And it is very expensive for us to get the sewer. The sewer did get run through our backyard. They ran it away for West Des Moines. We can't hook into it. But
Well, you can if you want to become part of the city and be annexed.
they told me I cannot. The way they hooked it up, the way they ran it through my backyard,
Sure.
I cannot hook up to that one.
Sure. And just
I have to
for
go in an entirely different direction.
my understanding with the sewer, unless your septic has failed
Correct.
and you are within 400 feet of the city sewer, I mean, if you're in 400 feet and your septic has failed, you do have to hook in. But if your septic is fine,
Right.
you don't have to hook in
Now-
until your septic fails.
It is
And that
fine.
said, the price between hooking up to the sewer and getting a new septic, they're pretty comparable.
Absolutely.
But anyway,
Yep. Nope.
okay.
I have.
All right,
All right.
thank you.
Okay, anybody else in the chamber for addressing the council before we go online? Okay, anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself, give us your name and address for the record. Is there anybody online that would like to address the council on this item? Okay, hearing no one, I'm going to declare the public hearing closed. And we have got a resolution for approval of the 80/20 voluntary annexation. I'm going to go to Councilman Trevilian for a motion.
I want to make a motion to continue this for, is 2 weeks adequate, Ryan, or do you need longer than that?
I would recommend we go to the October 20th meeting, and I think what that will allow me to do is one of two things. We can either reach back out to all the property owners to get a current update on where they sit with support, or I can go back through the applications again for the person that did not sign basically their ability to relinquish their annexation application. I can check with them and see what their status is.
Okay, I make a motion that we continue this until the October 20th meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, and for anyone in the audience or online who's listening, I think between the engineering department, development services, economic services, I think if there's any question about the reality of where we're at, whether it be a sewer hookup, a water hookup, and Christina Murphy at Waterworks can help as well. If there's any questions on the specifics, please reach out to the city, because we want to make sure that everyone is 100% on the same page with the facts, just with whether you can hook up, what's the rule for you, are you 350 feet away or 400 feet away, whatever the rule is for your specific property piece. I think if everybody has as much information as possible, I think it'll make this process just much more transparent. So please reach out to anyone in the city, reach out to me or any one of the council members or Mayor Trumbull or Ryan Moffett. We're all here to answer as many questions as we possibly can so that there's complete transparency.
Councilman McKinney.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to the folks that have been here. Ryan, I know you got also kind of put into this in the middle of a conversation that's been going on for several years. So appreciate your interest in extending it maybe a little bit longer to make sure everybody's on the same page. Michael, I appreciate your comments. I'll tell you, certainly not a bait and switch. I'm telling you that that is not the approach of this council, the mayor, or staff. I'm sorry you feel that way. We need to make sure that there is a full understanding of what's going on. No question about it. I also think it's important that folks realize that this council did hold a workshop in roughly April timeframe. Okay, there you go. And we made it very clear, because there is a lot of activity that needs to happen in this general area, that we need to send a strong signal that, hey, there are certain things we want to do with those that want to come in. And those that don't want to come in, that is totally fine, but you're not going to get the same deal. Because we need to move forward. This has been hanging out there at least since I've been on the council, since 2020, for 5+ years, and I think even longer before that. So at some point, a decision needs to be made, and folks need to be fully aware of what the complications are and what the benefits are. And then we're going to need to be able to take a vote, because we need to move some things forward in that area. And at the end of the day, we're going to do that, but we need to make sure everybody's on the same page. So thanks for being here, and I'm hopeful that over the next month, Ryan, you're able to reach out to these residents, make sure everybody's on the same page, or aware what they have, aware what is not there, and then we can come back on the 20th and verify whether we have 80% or not and move forward accordingly.
And to echo Councilman McKinney, the tax abatement deal that's offered, it is the maximum allowable structure deal under state law. And because it's the maximum allowable, that's the best tax incentive that the city of West Des Moines can provide. And there's two choices. We could either extend it into perpetuity, or we try to move forward right now, as you said, and offer it for this one last time. Now, obviously, future councils we cannot bind, but the idea is to move forward. But it is the best tax abatement that the city can offer under the state of Iowa's law. So I just want to share that as well.
And just one final point I want to make too. There are a few property owners on this map that have basically, for various reasons, connected to West Des Moines Waterworks Service already. So if this annexation ends up not panning out as you see before you today, there will still be independent annexations that do come forward. Obviously, as you're aware, to serve them with West Des Moines Waterworks Service, they need to be in the city. Waterworks has been gracious to defer that a little bit to let this whole annexation conversation play out.
Can we do that without creating islands?
That's the only thing we have to look at.
There is one that on the north side of Mills that I'm a little bit worried about. The one on the south side, that's already contiguous to city property, so that one can be taken in. But quite honestly, I mean, that's the motivation for why we would annex what we're showing, is to have more orderly boundaries without creating islands for the pockets that do need to come in.
And frankly, because of Fox Creek and the discussion that's been going on with them and whether or not they want to annex, it's been a messy process. I think Councilman McKinney, you made me remember something. This did start with Clyde Evans, who was our economic development director. Clyde is now gone. We've got Ryan Moffett as our current economic development director. We have a staff member, Bryce Johnson, who was a great staff member that now has taken another job. This was his project. He was working on this. We had a negotiation between Fox Creek and Napa Valley, and we were trying to tell them, if you want to do this, now is the time to do it. This is what we're offering right now, and I think it did include the maximum tax abatement under state law, which was the 10-year sliding scale. And we also had talked about bringing the broadband or bringing the conduit network out there, and then, of course, getting the water. Then that didn't happen. Fox Creek said, we don't want to do it, so we had to go another way. And I think we're just getting some mixed messages, some confusion on what was signed, what was communicated, what was understood by people and what they were signing. Do understand that if we do have an 80-20 and you are adamantly opposed to being annexed, but you end up getting annexed on the 80-20 anyway, you will get everything being annexed into the city that everybody else gets that wanted to be annexed in, even though you did not. If we don't annex in your area, then obviously you don't get the benefit of the services from the city. But one thing that drives me crazy is for people to say, we're not getting any benefit coming into the city. You are. We've got great response times for our public safety units. That's going to be much better, I would assume, than the sheriff's office or what you get with mutual aid on fire. You do get the benefit of maintaining the roads. You will eventually, as Councilman Trevilian said, get the benefit of having the conduit network and having multiple providers you can choose from for your high-speed broadband. There are definite benefits of coming into the city. It's not that you don't get any benefits, but you definitely will have to pay taxes that you're today not paying, which is why it's a 10-year sliding scale that we phase those taxes in. So you are getting a benefit, but it seems like there's a lot of confusion, misunderstanding, and it's between the bigger area that we are annexing versus the smaller area, change in staff. So I think it's good that we're taking a pause here. We're going to go back, take a look at it, get everything straight, and we'll have another conversation.
So the motion that's,
Hold on, Councilman. I had Councilwoman Hardman real quick, and then.
Yeah, I'm not going to belabor this. I think there's been a lot of comments on it. I am glad we're pausing. It just seems like there is just quite a bit of unreadiness and folks not understanding what they're going to sign or whatnot. So a pause will be helpful. I'm not saying that everybody's going to be on the same page, because everybody's not going to be on the same page. I'm willing to bet you that, okay? But at least we've listened, we've learned, and we're going to have to lead. And it's not going to make everybody happy, but we're going to pause to get a sense of where we're at with this 80-20 and where it goes. And so I'm supportive of the pause.
Councilman Lotz.
my only question is the motion made before the council tonight is to pause until October 20th, and that's it.
Bringing it to the meeting.
Give
Bringing
Ryan
it to
time
the
to talk to all these folks who spoke and make sure everybody's.
And more.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's my only question.
And thank you, Ryan, for your work and your team's work on this. It is not easy work. There's a lot of stuff going on, so appreciate it.
No doubt about it. Okay, with that, we've got a motion to continue this to the October, 20th meeting. And there's a second as well. Okay, go ahead, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, that'll be continued to October 20th. Please spread the word with your neighbors. Okay, item 6B, this is a time and a place for a public hearing to consider 2024-25 FY Community Development Block Grant Program Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, or the CAPER, initiated by the City of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
September 5th, 2025 in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comment to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody that would like to address the council on item 6B, please come to the podium. Give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit star 6 to unmute yourself. I'll bet this one's a lot less complicated or confusing. All right. Is there anybody in the chamber that would like to address the council on this item? Anybody online? Okay. Hearing and seeing nobody in the chamber or online, I will declare the public hearing closed. And we have got a resolution for approval of the FY 24-25 Community Development Block Grant Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, and there are no outstanding issues.
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the dais? I will thank Christine Gordon for all of her work on this. You know, we get this money from the federal government. We put it to great use. You can see what the money went towards. Homeless prevention program, transit passes, nearly 100 people received transit passes to be able to ride on DART and get where they need to go. Radon mitigation program, extremely important, $194,000. It was a little bit slow on the uptake, but residents, when they realized it was there for them, they took advantage of that, and that's an extremely important thing. I built myself a new house. I said I was going to get a radon test. I didn't do it for 4 years. You need to have radon levels of 4 or under. Mine was 12 times that level. So I put in a radon mitigation system for $1,500, and I'm really glad I did that, and glad we could extend this to low and moderate income individuals to take advantage of that as well. So.
Well said, Mayor.
Yep. All right. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 6C, this is time and a place for a public hearing to consider Forest Place, southwest corner of Stagecoach Drive and South 81st Street, conveyance of an easement for private storm sewer initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
September 9th, 2025 in the Des Moines Register.
And received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience who'd like to address council on item 6C, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit star 6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Is there anybody either in the chamber or online that would like to address the council on this item? All righty, hearing and seeing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. And we've got a resolution approving conveyance of an easement for private storm sewer to High Point Group LLC, and there are no outstanding issues.
Motion for approval.
Okay, it's moved, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 6D. This is a time and place for a public hearing to consider conduit network license agreement initiated by Mid-American Energy Group. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
September 10th, 2025 in the Des Moines Register.
Have you received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience who would like to address council on item 6D, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit star 6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Is there anybody that would like to address the council on item 6D? Okay, hearing and seeing no one, I once again will declare the public hearing closed. And we have got a resolution for approval of the conduit license agreement between the city and Mid-American Energy Company.
Move approval.
Okay, it's moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 7, new business, item 7A, Forest Place, southwest corner of Stagecoach Drive and South 81st Street, accept surety and release final plat to create 101 lots for single-family development, 2 outlots and 6 street lots, High Point Group LLC. We have got a resolution accepting surety and approving and releasing the final plat. There are no outstanding issues, and the property owner and applicant are in agreement with all staff recommendations.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there anybody in the audience or online that would like to address council on item 7A? Okay, is there any discussion on the dais? Okay, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 7B, merchants bonding, 6700 Westtown Parkway. Approve a major modification of the site plan to allow construction of a 3-story addition and defer 26 parking spaces. Sidekick Development LLC. We've got a resolution for approval of a major modification site plan. There are no outstanding issues, but there is one condition of approval, that the city defer that installation of 26 parking spaces until such time they are deemed necessary. If they are deemed necessary by the city, the applicant will have one construction season to install the parking spaces as a minor modification to the site plan. Someone want to move approval? It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's moved and second. Is there anybody in the audience or online that would like to address council on item 7B? Okay, any discussion on the dais?
What is going to drive this when it's, how are we worded here? When the city deems that the 26 stalls are needed, who's going to be policing this?
Well, complaints will be one of those things, but come on up, Len. Okay. Complaints.
Lynn Tweet, Director of Development Services. Russ is completely right. Well, part of it will be complaint-driven. Part of it will be if any city staff member drives by and sees we're parking on grass, or we get, like I said, complaints from a neighboring property owner that their employees are using our lot. Anything that kind of suggests that they may need more parking, we'll trip it, and then we will let them know.
And how quickly would they be required then to build those stalls?
Like I said, right now, the condition would say within the first construction season.
Okay. All right, thank you.
The thing is, we've deferred installation of parking a number of times. Of course, Kevin, you know that.
Yeah,
and-
but I just don't know that
Yeah.
it gets enforced.
Yeah,
That's all
no,
I'm
no,
asking.
No, you're right, you're right. But I just would say, nobody wants parking problems less than the business that's doing the development. So they will make sure that there are no parking problems. I can guarantee you that.
I would argue that nobody wants parking problems on an adjacent property owner, because they're the ones that are going to have the issues, not necessarily the person that got
Sure.
deferred, so.
Sure, I think both could have issues, but I don't think anybody wants that. I just want to say, merchants bonding, we don't toot their horn enough. That's an incredible company that we have here in our community. They are doing this enormous expansion. I am really excited to see this. There's going to be a number of new jobs that are going to be created from it. And so I am just absolutely elated to see this and to see the success of this company in our city, and I'm very grateful for their continued investment in our community. So,
Mayor,
thank you to Merchants Bonding. Councilman McKinney.
Yeah, I'd like to just echo that sentiment and appreciate the way that, Lynn, you and the team worked with Merchants Bonding on this. I think this is excellent to see this expansion. This is why, for example, when we work on this parking sort of thing, the business record puts out their survey. They say, what communities are most conducive to business? And West Des Moines is. Why? Because it's sorts of things like this where they don't need the stalls today. Why would we make them spend the money to put it in? And maybe they don't need it in the future. And why would we have extra parking and a parking lot that nobody uses at the same time? So I think this strikes a nice balance where the business can expand, they can put in what is necessary, and if and when they need it, and that's maybe a big if, then they'll do it. But if they don't need to, we shouldn't be required to pave 26 additional stalls just because our black and white rules say we need to do it. We need to be responsive to what's on the ground. So appreciate the work that was done here.
27 years of business record, best city to do business.
There you go.
There's a reason for that. Our staff deserves a lot of the credit on it. Okay, any other discussion on this item before we vote? Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 7C, we've got a motion for denial of a liquor license for the Hall operated by Maria Mendoza. There are no outstanding issues on this. Does somebody want to move for denial?
Motion to deny.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to deny issuing a liquor license to the Hall with the operator, Maria Mendoza. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address the council on this item or online? Sure, come on up, give us your name and address for the record. We will give you 5 minutes, and please keep it civil and respectful, everybody that speaks. All right, go ahead.
My name is Peter Sveck. I'm representing 124 South 11th Street. It's a business address.
I'm sorry, let me interrupt you. You're representing the business? Are you representing Mrs. Mendoza? Are you representing Nick?
I am an adjoining property owner to the Hall.
Gotcha.
Our address is 126 South 11th Street.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. I'm sorry.
I want to thank you for considering this denial. this action is going to eliminate a lot of aggravation to us. Primarily, our concern is because there is a distinct lack of parking available on their site to accommodate the activities that they have. We have their people or their customers parking on our property, using our property for their activities. When people park all over our property, we have warehouse units down in that area. We have cars parked in front of our tenants' doors, so they don't have access to their space. They park on the grass. We have a grass strip between the hall and the railroad tracks there. And we've had 50, 60 cars parked there from time to time, which tears up the grass, makes it more difficult to keep. And their use of our property without our permission exposes us to tremendous liability if something should happen on our property. So I am delighted that you're recommending a denial on this.
And can I ask you a question? The hall has been in operation for quite some time
Yes.
now. Are you saying you've noticed a change since the change
No.
in operation?
We have had issues with the management at the hall as well. We've had discussions with them. We have tried to be a good neighbor with them to no avail. They have still used our property without our permission.
Okay.
And,
So you've always had this problem with the hall, but you're taking this time.
We've had this problem with this type of business, and from what I understand of the businesses going in there, they want to have an event center, a nightclub, or of some sort that is going to bring a lot of people into the area. And I see the problem of this parking situation just continuing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Which speaks to my statement on the last issue of when you defer parking,
I knew you were
this is
going
what
to
you
say
get.
that, Kevin.
Thank you.
Okay. Come on up, give us your name and address for the
Good
record.
afternoon. My name is Maria Mendoza, 111 South 11th Street, Suite 200. I'm here today because I purchased the assets of the hall located next to the foundry in Valley Junction. I am applying for a liquor license. My plan for the business is to expand upon the original business that was started back in 2018. I would like to accomplish three things: elevate food experience, elevate music experience, and maintain family friendly. We have all read the recommendation from the staff to deny my license. I just want to say that those are mistakes that I made many years ago. Yes, I have made the mistakes in the past. I pay for those mistakes. I learned from it, and I have grown as a business owner because of it. I'm looking forward to a fresh start with the hall. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Anybody else that would like to address? Okay, Nick, come on up, give us your name and address for the record.
Nick Kuhn, 10546 Northwest 121st Street, Granger, Iowa. Thank you for your time tonight, and good evening, everybody. It was about 9 years ago when I walked in here with a couple of gentlemen from Denver that had a terrible, terrible idea. My idea was the only good one, that's why I wanted to build a kitchen. And we still to this day work with those in need out of that kitchen. And their idea was so terrible, within 2 hours after that meeting then here, I came up with a good idea, and that was called the hall. And it was a great idea back in the day. So thank you. It's been quite a journey. I've been looking for a suitable buyer for the hall for quite some time. Okay. Long story short, COVID changed everything in all of our businesses, our restaurants. And I recognized that years ago, and we needed to find somebody that had the energy, had the wherewithal, had the capital, quite honestly, to at least continue with what we've built or to make it even better. Yep. And about 6 months ago, Maria's name and her husband's name came across my desk, and I did what any good businessman would do. I got on Google, and I started Googling names, and I found everything that's stated in recommendation from staff. Okay. So I walked away from that evening with 3 questions that I wanted to pose to Maria and her husband. And number 1, when we met, I've read a lot of stuff online. We all have, in fact, what's presented, what's in your packets, that's all online. There's no secrets there. I go, I know it was a long time ago. I mean, some of the stuff dates back to 17 or 18. And I said, is that behind you? Okay, I got to know. I don't really care what the details are because everybody's got their side of the story. I said, is this behind you, number 1? Did you learn from it? Number 2, are you going to repeat any of that? Because if the answer is no to any of those, or excuse me, if the answer not in the affirmative, then we're not talking, okay, because they're not viable. Second question I had, and her answer was, of course, yeah, we made a mistake. I'm like, okay, did you own it? Yes. Did you learn from it? Yes. Okay. You're going to do that again because that stuff doesn't look good, especially when it comes to liquor licenses. Her answer satisfied me because, you know what? People make mistakes in business. If you're a business owner, you've made them. And if they weren't catastrophic, you survived it, you didn't make that mistake again. Second question I had, what do you want to do with the hall? This is a wonderful facility that we built. And we built something that was bigger than all of us. We poured our hearts and souls into it. There's a bit of a legacy here. And what do you want to do? Because what I was reading between the lines, doing my due diligence, all I was thinking was nightclub. And I'm like, nobody wants one of those. Nobody wants one of those anywhere. They're nothing but trouble. So her answer was pretty simple. You know what? Better food experience. I was not insulted by that. I have seen their menu. It's wonderful. You should check it out. Secondly, bring more music. Okay, there's a shortage of music venues in this city. They're all being snatched up by rather large music event companies. Okay, and I'm like, okay, that's awesome. That's everything I've wanted to do. I tried it. I'm terrible at it. Hopefully you got some experience. And then the last one was keep it family friendly. You know, make it open to everybody. You know, that matched exactly with what we wanted to do when we built the place. We wanted some place that everybody was welcome. Now back then it's like, hey, let's have a beer and sit down and talk. That was the most complicated idea that I had. But it morphed into something much greater than that. So everything, her answers were in alignment with what I had. My last question, a very important one, can you afford it? Okay, and I'm not talking about the business. You know, I could give that thing away if I needed to. But that is a significant facility and it was a significant lease. And she said, yeah, I can afford it. I'm like, okay, well, here's the deal. You're going to have to convince the landlord with a personal financial statement that you have the financial wherewithal to cover that nut.
You have 30 seconds.
Okay, it's a big lease, big lease. And I go, that far exceeds the value of the business. And if you can commit to that, and he says you can do it, that's all I need to know whether you can follow through with us. Okay, contract sale, by the way. That's all I had. That's all the answers I needed to proceed with the discussions with them. And the more we met with them, the more comfortable we became. We did make sure that the landlord wrote into the lease. A nightclub is a no-go. Just 30 seconds. No nightclub. In fact, that's the fastest way to eviction. Okay, that's written in their lease. That's the only thing with real teeth of those leases. No nightclubs, because that was our biggest concern as well. Okay. That's all I've got. I mean, we talked about their financial standing. We talked about what they wanted to do, their vision. And all of it was consistent with what we wanted to do.
All right, Nick, I got to cut you off. I'm sorry, but I do have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
And that is, I'm not maybe fully understanding what's going on now. So are you no longer the owner of the hall?
Well, it's a little complicated.
Okay, that's why I'm asking.
Okay.
Because she said she purchased the assets from you.
She purchased all the assets. Yeah, she purchased the brand. That included the kitchen, the nonprofit side.
Sure.
We still use the kitchen for our nonprofit work, free of charge. That was the deal we had.
Part of the deal, okay.
Until they get a liquor license, I have an agreement with them to retain that part of the business, because I still have a liquor license.
Okay, so
yeah.
so you're still serving liquor today, but the liquor license is
Correct. I've got to.
You're the operator.
Yeah, and trust me, I don't want to because.
She's working alongside you, but you're the.
Payroll, I've got everybody's payroll now. I've got, I mean, it's actually more complicated to manage that business. Yeah, I'm sorry. One quick statement. The landlord, Mike, was going to come, Mike Henfield with Foundry DSM.
Okay.
Just a few quick statements from him. He couldn't make it, I'm sorry. But he did a pretty thorough review of their financials. I have not seen them.
Okay.
He did a great review. Number two, he's got a couple concerns about that facility.
All right. I got to cut you off because I got to be fair to everybody next. So I got to cut you off. If there's other questions, we can bring you back up. But I got to give other people a chance. So is there anybody else in the chamber that would like to address the council on this item? Okay. We're going to have our Deputy City Attorney, Jessica Grove, come up. Jessica, could you kind of go over and explain to us why you're recommending the denial?
I can. Do you need my name again? Or do you have it? Okay.
Okay, give us your name. He's a stickler.
So as you have in the packet, this property, or this Maria Mendoza, we've dealt with Miss Mendoza before. So unfortunately, I had to go through all of the history because that is important to evaluate whether or not Ms. Mendoza herself meets the minimum qualifications to hold a liquor license in the state of Iowa. I understand Ms. Mendoza is claiming that they were mistakes that she made the first time around, and that is what led to her initial denial. What I would counter that with is that I don't think those were mistakes. Our legal opinion is that those were not mistakes the first time. Ms. Mendoza was asked very simple, specific questions when she applied in 2018. Those questions included very simply who's going to manage and operate the business X-Cray, who's going to be involved in the finances of the business of X-Cray. Simple questions. What we have learned through an independent investigation done by the Alcohol Beverages Division, not done by the City of West Des Moines, that investigation revealed that Ms. Mendoza very clearly misrepresented to the city on both of those items. Those two things would be considered material facts regarding the ownership and management and the financial elements of X-Cray, both of which would have been grounds at the time and are grounds for consideration now for either suspension, revocation, or non-issuance of a future license. When the council considered the denial back in October 2020, it was shortly before that Ms. Mendoza was charged with fraudulent practice in the second degree, which was a felony, in the simple terms is tax evasion. The reason that she was charged with that was for not having a sales tax permit and underreporting tax liability in an amount was in the amount of almost $40,000 at the time. That included interest and penalty. I will say that has since been paid. And the court accepted Ms. Mendoza's plea, finding sufficient evidence that she was guilty of a reduced charge of fraudulent practice in the third degree, which reduced that to an aggravated misdemeanor. Now, while some charges require you to have a conviction to be considered when you're evaluating somebody's for a liquor license, prompt tax payment does not. That is an element that can be considered for somebody's good, whether or not they have good financial standing. Now, I understand they may be able to show to the landlord, what I'm understanding, that they have money, but financial standing also includes the ability and willingness and showing that you're able to pay your taxes promptly. Now, mind you, while it is probably minimal, those unpaid taxes would have also include non-payment of loss to the City of West Des Moines directly.
And you're talking local option sales and services tax?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Like I said, in October 2020, the City Council voted to deny Ms. Mendoza's renewal application for her liquor license. That was appealed, and the city did prevail on all of the appeals that were brought by Ms. Mendoza. What happened after the appeals were exhausted, from approximately February 2022 to September 2023, X-Cray at the time operated without a liquor license. They maintained their business. They did so as a BYOB. they can still do that with their business here at the hall. They do not need a liquor license to operate their business. They may want a liquor license because it obviously opens up opportunities for them. But what I want to remind the council is that having a liquor license is a privilege, not a right, is a highly regulated area of the law for good reason. This council specifically, myself specifically, I've been in front of you, or I guess I've authored a staff report 3 times for denials of liquor licenses. Ms. Mendoza is not the only one. What I wanted to note, the police department also reviewed this application. You have a paragraph in there from them specifically. And what they wanted to note is that from the time period of September 2019 to October 2022, when Ms. Mendoza was operating ex-Curray at the University Avenue location, they received 49 calls for service, or approximately 16 per year. That resulted in approximately 15 written police reports and included cases involving assault, assault with a weapon, fighting, impaired person, and theft. While these reports do not necessarily indicate that charges were filed, it does indicate an increased burden on the police department to respond to this location. I put in a comparison there for you so you could see, is this a high number, is this a low number? When ex-Curray changed over to what was known as Club Ambia or Ambia Nightclub, they had about 8 per year, 16 over 2 years. So it was about double the number of calls for the police department. As I stated, having a liquor license is a privilege. Under the state code, you as the council have to determine whether or not Ms. Mendoza herself is a person of good moral character under the definition. I have that definition here for you today, and it is defined as a person having such financial standing and good reputation as will satisfy the director that the person will comply with this chapter and all laws, ordinances, and regulations applicable to the person's operation under Iowa Code Chapter 123, which is the Alcohol Beverage Division chapter. It's the legal department's, or I guess staff's opinion, legal department in conjunction with the police department, that Ms. Mendoza has not proven that she is able to comply with all the laws, ordinances, and regulations applicable to her. For the reasons that I've already stated, the not prompt payment of taxes, the misrepresentation of material fact, those are the main reasons why we're recommending denial today. I will also note, Ms. Mendoza is applying for a Class C license, which is a higher level of liquor license than what currently is Nick holds. Nick holds a Class BW license, which is for beer and wine. Class C would allow the sale of hard liquor, so alcoholic beverages. And then I did also want to note, thank you to whoever came about the parking. I did hear about your complaint. To give you a little bit, the hall was deferred 67 parking stalls of the total 196 that were required. So since we've received the complaint, we'll have to take a look at that. That obviously does not impact or shouldn't impact your decision on the liquor license. It's not an element to consider, but it is something that is good for us to note. And then I know Development Services has been working closely with Ms. Mendoza on how she's going to operate the business to determine whether or not a permitted conditional use would be required. Nick currently has one, and we're working.
And that's separate from this decision as well.
It is. I just want to
Permitted conditional use.
note
Explain that, why?
I just want to note that if it's determined, and I think we're working through some things, the information has changed a little bit as time has gone on from Ms. Mendoza, of like how long minors will be allowed in the place and what types of activities she will have in there and the food and things like that. It may be, I put in here that we thought for sure we'd have to have them require a permitted conditional use permit. Today, in reevaluating that, that may not be required, but I just wanted to note it to the council that if it's required, it goes through the Board of Adjustment. No different than what Nick would have had to do initially with the hall. So
Okay.
if you guys have any questions,
Yeah,
I'm happy.
does anybody have
to
any questions
answer.
for Jessica? Okay, go ahead, Councilwoman.
Jessica, what is your opinion of how long does it take for a person to have that be a part of their past? And that, is this a lifetime denial? what period of time, because I've met with both of them as well. And I think there's been some corrective action and whatnot, and some attempts to try to correct the wrongs. And I'm not saying that it's the right time. I just want to understand, what is the time frame by which, is it 80 years down the road, 10 years down the road,
Yeah.
5 years down the road? What, is it permanent? What is this?
I don't know if I could give you like a
Okay.
specific answer on the misrepresentation. That one
Okay.
is something that I think is a little harder to put a timeframe on.
Okay.
When are you able to trust somebody that falsified information to you so simply? As for the tax.
That happened how many years ago? I'm just,
She would have told us in 2018, we would have found out about it in 2020. So
Okay.
7 years or 5 years ago, whichever year you want to take. As for the tax evasion though, there is a statutory 5 years for any felony conviction. Now that she doesn't have a felony conviction,
okay.
but it was originally charged as a felony. So I guess if I was evaluating this, we didn't talk about this in our office as far as like, what number of years do we think? We looked at it globally in conjunction with other departments, and that's when we came to our recommendation. But on the fly, I guess I would probably do this, I would probably apply the similar time frame for the prompt payment of taxes. Again, that one's a little harder because it's not a set time frame in the code. And I think there are elements that are considerations that are done at the state level that they take more seriously. And so as the local authority, we're tasked with basically helping them evaluate individuals and making sure that we're having, we see that they comply with all the state laws. So, I mean, that's why we bring these in front of the council. We have 5 council members. We're staff, we came to our decision. If council feels that she has made improvements or has proven herself or something like that, it's a little bit hard because she hasn't had like a liquor license somewhere else or had another business to show something. But if you feel that she has and you feel that you're able to say that now these things don't apply, we think she does meet this definition, that's why we have 5 of you here to make that determination.
I was just curious. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else with questions for Jessica? Okay, well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. You've been given your 5 minutes. Nick, you've been given your 5 minutes plus some extra.
Yeah.
Okay. I will ask, I'll give you 30 seconds. Nick, I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and then that's it. Come on up, real quick. You got 30 seconds. You got to be more succinct than me. It's not hard to do.
I'm going to correct a statement that I made because
Okay.
Nick just showed me he currently has a Class C license, and I thought he had
Okay.
a VW.
So
I don't
the
know.
license is-
It was something I looked back in a previous approval that we had.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just want to clarify that.
Perfect. You got 30 seconds.
My question is, just by my understanding of what's happening here, is that this business that she operates on University has had a significant police record. Is that the kind of business we want to have in Valley Junction?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mendoza, you got a chance to rebut. I feel like we're in a debate here.
30
Go ahead.
seconds.
So this is a different type of business than the one that I have previously. This is a restaurant. I want to offer drinks. I don't want to tell my clients, I sell you the food, you bring your drinks. So I want to bring the complete experience when you go out to eat to a place. Now you bring your bottle of wine or bring your beer. I don't want to do that. Also, now I have advice and help from a PCA, so I can have all my payments on time.
Okay.
So that's why I say I learn from it.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Mendoza, I appreciate it. Okay. Any discussion on this item from the council? Or are we ready to vote? Okay. Hearing none, please vote. We are voting to deny the liquor license. Councilman Hardman, go ahead, make your comment, but we're voting right now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go hit your mic, hit your mic.
I just want to say, and I'm going to have to vote, we all are going to have to vote. But I would like to just say that I do think at some point in time, I'm hoping that people have an opportunity to right their wrongs. And that something that they've done in partnership with someone else doesn't ruin their lives for the rest of their lives. I don't think anyone in this room would want that to happen to their children or anybody. And I want to just take the issues about what you raised. This other thing about the parking stuff, I'm not quite sure. That's quite relevant. I want to go by what's here. So this is painful, it's difficult, and I just want to say it for the record, how I am is that I pray and hope that at some point in time, there's some reconsideration and that what somebody does at some point in time with someone else doesn't affect them for the next 80 years, the next 10 years, the next 20 years. But I'm leaving
Fair
it to you all
point.
for the question.
Fair point. Okay, please vote if you haven't already.
Four yes, one no.
Okay, I'm sorry, but the liquor license has been denied. Okay. Moving on. Item 7D. We have approval of the first reading of Westlake Point TIF District, city initiated.
Who's on the fence?
I'm sorry? Oh, okay, sorry. City initiated, we've got an ordinance for approval of the first reading of the Westlake Point Tax Increment Financing Ordinance, and there are no outstanding issues. Does somebody want to move consideration of the first?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there anybody in the audience or online that would like to address the council on item 7D? All right, hearing and seeing no one, is there any discussion on the dais? Okay, hearing none, please vote. Again, this is going to be a great project for the city, and I'm very appreciative of the investment from Merchants Bonding.
5 yes, an ordinance providing the general property taxes levied and collected each year on all property located within the Westlake Point urban renewal area in the city of West Des Moines be paid to a special fund for payment of principal and interest on loans, monies advanced to and indebtedness, including bonds issued or to be issued, incurred by the city in connection with the Westlake Point urban renewal area.
Motion approved the first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, moving on to item 7E. We've got an ordinance for approval, the first reading of the traffic code amendment, special stops required, South Harper Court, Harper Lane, South 92nd Street and Harper Lane, and there are no outstanding issues on this. Does somebody want to move consideration of the first reading?
Move consideration of the first reading.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Is there anybody in the audience or online that'd like to address the council on this item? Any discussion on the dais? All right, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending provisions pertaining to the traffic code relating to official traffic controls.
Move approval of the first reading.
Please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, so for item 7F, we've got a motion for approval of traffic code amendments, which is special stops required, Southeast Preserve Court and Southeast Walnut Woods Drive, Southeast 5th and Southeast Hollow Court, Southeast 5th Street and Dapple Drive. Interesting street name. We once again have an ordinance for approval of the first reading, and there are no outstanding issues. Somebody?
Consider the first reading.
Okay, is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Is there anybody in the audience or online that would like to address council on this item? Okay, any discussion on the dais? All right, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending provisions pertaining to the traffic code relating to official traffic controls.
Motion to approve. Motion.
Second.
To approve.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 8, receive, file, and/or refer. We have no items to receive, file, or refer. Item 9, other matters. Do we have any other matters that any council person would like to bring up for the good of the order? Okay, hearing none, we are going to adjourn into our workshop, which is going to start in 3 minutes. All right. it's always tough. And you made a very good point.